Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Khans of Tarkir Swiss draft. Quick reminder, check out this week's Mortar Pod. This is the first time for the custom Magic set. I'm doing Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, but this is the first time we're doing a full block for the movie series, Indiana Jones. So last week was Raiders of the Lost Ark. This week, Temple of Doom. Next week's going to be The Last Crusade. So check it out. I have that link at the beginning of the video. This pack's got Dune Blast, so pretty easy pickup. It is a 3-color first pick, but these are colors I like, and Dune Blast is insane. So pretty easy to pick up, I think. Burnaway, Tuskard Captain, other reasonable first picks, but not when a Dune Blast is in there. Okay, so now we can do Heir of the Wilds. I think that's a pretty safe pick. Not too much else I care about. Blossoming Sands would be some nice fixing, but Heir of the Wilds is a pretty nice 2-drop. Certainly more exciting and better than Alpine Grizzly, but Death Touch in this format is pretty insane. So I guess if I take a green pick here and a green 2-drop at that, I'm likely going to want to go black as my primary secondary color and then splash the white, but I guess it's not out of the realm of reason to do green, white, splash black. Or I guess I could get myself mixed up in some sort of 4 and 5 color deck, but I'm really not the drafter that does that very often. I'm much more of a 3-color drafter in this format. And mostly a 2-color deck, splash a 3rd color. That's just basically what I've found to work the best for me. So let's take the Heir of the Wilds. I think that's just a solid 2-drop. Jeez. All sorts. Oh my god. What was taken from this pack? Abzan Charm, Saddle Brute, Murderous Cutter all in here? I mean, these are all insane. These are all insane. Yeah, I think I'd take the Abzan Charm, but Murderous Cut is one of the best uncommons in the set, and Bellowing Saddle Brute is the same thing. So the only reason I'm taking Abzan Charm is because we're pretty much presumably Abzan. So having the versatility of the effect is nice, but being able to deal with anything is nice, and having a 4/5 for 4 is insane too. Yeah, that's just I don't even know what to say about that. That's just insane. A lot of good stuff in this pack, but I'm going to take the Charm. That's very versatile and good. And on color. Well, Ascendancy would be nice. We'd have to splash the red, which is not always easy. Could also just take the Highland game here, which is fine. It's not a warrior like Ancestor, but it's certainly a good 2-drop. And keeps us deeper green until we establish what we want our secondary color to be. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We don't have to be secondary color black, remember. We can still be green, white, splash black. That does work. So we'll take the 2-drop. 2-drops are typically pretty good in this format. Okay, so there's Archer's Parapet, which is usable in here. There's also Archer, which is fine, Hateblade, and Skull Hunter. So if I take the Hateblade, it's a little less good. Both of these are a little less good on the splash. I think I'm going to take the Feet of Resistance just because I really like this card a lot. And I guess that would devote me a little bit more to green, white, splash black, but I don't think that's an issue. I mean, Parapet's a fine card. It's a good blocker. But Feet of Resistance is just an amazing combat trick. So I think I'm happily picking up the Feet here. Okay, let's see. There's a Land Fixer. There's a Warrior Morph guy. I guess I'm Otay. I guess I'm Buckwheat. I'm going to take the Hateblade, I think. Hopefully we can find the black fixing later, but Hateblade admittedly not as good if black's your splash color, but it still is fine. The Death Touch in this format is very good, so I'll pick that up. All right. I think I'm prepared to take my first piece of fixing here. I can take the Scoured Barrens. It's even more useful since black is presumably our splash color now that we've gotten a couple white picks in. Smite the Monstrous is a fine card as well, but I don't mind taking a Scoured Barrens over it. I think it's a pretty easy second Scoured Barrens. Nothing else that's of real use to us. Windstorm's a fine sideboard card. Kentree Warden is playable but not great, and Siegecraft is playable but also not great. So let's take the Scoured Barrens, which is just good. Just good. Good fixing. Very useful. Okay, some good options here. Unyielding Krumar, not as exciting on the splash, and neither is Bitter Revelation so much, so I think it's just a Highland game, which is a good 2-drop. In green, one of our primary colors at this point. So yes, I think I'm going to solidify myself into green, white, splash, black, and not have any real issues there, except that, I mean, we're basically limiting ourselves to Abzan, but that's not a big deal. I mean, I've got 2 Abzan cards anyway that are super strong. I mean, Duneblast is crazy. I did have someone play Brave the Sands against me yesterday. It's okay. It's not that great. I think it's Sidisi's Pet here. Sidisi's Pet's not very good either, though. I mean, I don't really like Brave the Sands that much, but I certainly don't like Pet on the splash. I think I'll just take it, but I don't really want it. Naturalize will take for the sideboard. I don't think I'm playing a Rakshasa Secret. And Abomination is late, but I'll just take the Naturalize. Salt Road Patrol is actually a perfectly reasonable 4-drop card, so I'll take that. Dreadmaw, not really worth it on the splash, but I'm not going to play a Cranial Archive, I don't think, either. I guess potentially sideboard the Archive against Sultai, but it doesn't even seem that good. I guess it's a good pack 1. I mean, opened up with a Duneblast, can't complain about that. We did have to pass some black cards, which I didn't want to pass, but we ended up getting an Abzan Charm out of it, so it seems worth it. I don't think Mantis Rider's worth anything anymore, right? Let's find out. Mantis Rider is worth nothing. It is, of course, insane and limited, however, but that's okay. Murderous Cut, on the other hand, very, very good, even on the splash. Certainly worthy of picking up here, so we shall do so. Roar of Challenge, also a good card. Saigu Archer, playable. As is Smite. Ancestor, not that good on the splash. I think it's pretty easy, Murderous Cut. Okay. Well, Bondkin, Savage Punch. Debilitating Injury, a little bit less exciting on the splash. Savage Punch, not looking that great in this deck since a lot of our guys are little. I think it's actually a pretty easy Bondkin. Just get another solid 2-drop. It also happens to work amazingly well with both Feat of Resistance and Abzan Charm, since if you have a Bondkin out, you can instant speed, give your guys first strike, as well as make them big. It also works well with our patrol. Yes, I think Bondkin is just exactly what this deck wants, so we'll take it. Okay, follow up now. Well, Jungle Hollow is fixing for us. Mandrills is a pretty reasonable card, though. Rite of the Serpent, not that good when black's your splash. I do like Hooting Mandrills. How much do I like it in this deck? I guess I like it quite a bit. We don't have a ton of Delve fodder, but Abzan Charm, I mean, I guess I'm pretty tempted to just take the Jungle Hollow. I'm not going to be super butthurt missing out on a Hooting Mandrills, I don't think. I'm presuming I can find more of that later. Plus, just getting this is really nice right now early, so I don't have to worry about it later. Just minimizing black's impact in our deck, I think, is going to be tremendously beneficial. So I'm going to take Jungle Hollow. Geez, Wooded Foothills, is that worth anything? It's only worth 3 tickets, but there is nothing in here that I care about. Literally nothing. I don't care about Defiant Strike in here. I don't care about Scout the Borders. I think we just take, it's only like 3 tickets, but I'll take it. Who knows? Maybe there's some red card I want to splash for. Not very likely, but. Witness versus War Behemoth. So what's better, 4/4 or 3/6? There's also Awaken the Bear. We have 6 creatures currently. I think for the most part, I like Awaken the Bear the most. Am I going to have a hard time getting creatures? You know, it's a reasonable question. I love me some Awaken the Bear, though. I really do love that card. Especially with like a Hate Blade, I could see that being pretty insane. I guess I'm pretty tempted to take the War Behemoth just because 3/6 is a nice body. However, Ferocious works better with like Witness of the Ages. And I guess I don't have to worry about color with Witness, but I gotta say, 3/6 body is very good. I think just for the off chance that I get some Savage Punches or something that'll reward me for 4 power, I'm going to take the Witness here. I do want that Awaken the Bear, but not a big deal if I can't get it. Okay, now we have a second Hate Blade, we have Student, and we have Dragon Scale Boon. Dragon Scale Boon, once again, good with the Bondkin. Student's a fine card. We currently have Feat, Charm, Murderous Cut, Doom Blast that kind of work with it, but Hate Blade's fine, but I don't know if I want a bunch of them if black's my splash color. So really, it's Dragon Scale Boon versus just Sky Student. I think typically your 2-drops are more important than your 4-drop tricks. I think I'm going to take the Student here. Good argument for Death Touch, but just less exciting when I've got black on splash color. None of these cards super matter to me. I guess I'll take the Kintree Warden, but admittedly, I don't really want it all that much. I prefer to not play it. Tusk Colossedon is potential finisher, but not a super exciting one. I already have a Naturalize for sideboard, so I guess I don't need a race, so I guess I'll take the Colossedon. It's not all that great, though, admittedly. So now we have Smite versus Roar of Challenge. I think we actually want the Roar of Challenge. Roar of Challenge is an excellent way to just get by all of your opponent's stuff late game on a stalled board state. Lets you really just get in and win. Also works well with Prowess. Bloodsucker, not that good in this deck. Currently only have a couple guys that actually give us value, so certainly not worth it on Splash. There's a decent argument for Smite the Monstrous, but I think there's actually enough upside to Roar of Challenge where we want it. Here I think it's pretty easy. Highland game number 3. I could take the Rush of Battle, but not really into it all that much. I'd rather just get another 2-drop. Not that great if you're not in Warriors. I mean, it's fine, but usually better if you have some sort of token strategy. Whereas Highland game is just nice to have. I guess of all these cards, Active Treason can potentially be the most annoying. Scout the Borders, I mean, it feeds the Delve, but I'm not really digging it that much. I'm not really digging Defiant Strike that much either, but we look beat down enough where it could work. Plus we, I guess, have the Student. So I'll take it. Fills the yard for Delve, I guess. I'm trying to think what this deck needs. I think this deck needs just a couple more finishers, and we're actually looking really good, because our early game is pretty phenomenal. Neither of these cards are super playable. I guess I'll take the Weave Fate. But so far, so good as far as the deck goes. We have excellent removal, some of the best that you can get. And we have a very nice early game plan. So, and we have a way to win if they have defenses set up when you got a stalled board state. So this deck currently has every component that I like to have in Khans drafts. But like I said, we just want better finishers than like Tusked Colossedon, so I wouldn't mind some Woolly Loxodons. I'd prefer to not first pick it, but I guess if I have to, I will. Of course, the 5-drop that puts tokens on guys would be insane. Jeez, look at this pack. Here's the problem with Death Dealer. It's not that good when black's your splash color. Nightblade is pretty good, but once again, it's also our splash. There's Loxodon, there's Grizzly, there's all sorts of just amazing cards for us here. I think I'm going to take the Charm just because multiple charms is insane, especially on color ones, especially ones that are as versatile as Abzan Charm. Like I said, Death Dealer's a good card, but on the splash, much less exciting when you can only use its ability once per turn. It's still fine. Hopefully table Loxodon, Grizzly, Guide, just all sorts of stuff I would like to table, but I'm going to take the amazing removal here Because if I can pick up 4 more creatures with this kind of removal package, I think we're sitting real pretty. Geez. Well, past an amazing Abzan card, so I'm going to take that. Yeah. Ivory Tusk Fortress. Amazing in general. Twice as amazing in a deck like this where you've got Feat, double Abzan Charm, Patrol, and Bondken. So all sorts of +1/+1 counters happening. And you can't get much more efficient than 5 mana, 5/7. So easily taking the Fortress here. Kintree Invocation, unfortunately not that good in this deck. We only have a few guys with high toughness, and they're expensive. So I guess I'm not really feeling Kintree Invocation, which is kind of sad because I love playing that card. But I think we can just get an Alabaster Kirin and be super happy, since it's not only an evasive creature with Vigilance, but we have tons of ways to pump it permanently. So we can just make it absolutely bonkers in this deck. So I'm happy to pick that up, even over the kill shot. Okay, choices now. Well, Death Frenzy is certainly good. Not that great for us since it kills most of our guys. Blossoming Sands is reasonable, but I think I'm looking at either the Grizzly or the second Kirin. Grizzly, I guess a little more exciting with the Roar of Challenge and the Air of the Wilds, since it's pretty efficient. It's also very good when you're pumping it, but then again, so is Kirin. Throttle is probably playable on Splash, but I'm not very excited about it. So, yeah, I think we're really looking at Death Frenzy, which is fine, but we already have a board wipe, so I'm not sure I need it. It's also, I guess, not that amazing with our guys. I'd prefer to cut this Warden, too. So I'm just going to start moving cards out that I would prefer to not main deck. Like Defiant Strike, too. I prefer to not main deck that. Grizzly versus Kirin number 2. I guess I'm a huge fan of Grizzly. I'm going to take it. People might want that Kirin there, and there's a good argument for that, but I just love the Grizzly. It's so much pressure. I look like a deck that wants to really put a lot of pressure down fast, and Alpine Grizzly's just so good at doing that, especially with this crazy removal package plus Feat of Resistance that we have. So I'm still okay with our really good with our deck, actually. Empty the Pits, as cool as that would be, it's actually pretty much impossible to play in this deck. Just no possible way I would have enough black resources to make that work. I think the dilemma is there's nothing else that I care about too much. We are at 19 cards currently. I guess I likely take the Sage Eye Harrier since I have so many ways to permanently pump it up, but it's not a very exciting pick. Empty the Pits is going to be a bummer to lose against since it's instant. I don't think it's worth anything either, is it? It's worth a ticket. I'm just going to take it because I really don't care about Sage Eye Harrier at all. I just don't like that card. Okay, well, Savage Punch, I need to do a quick count. Currently works well with Grizzly, Fortress, Colossadon, Witness. So that's 4 cards. It's not the worst. A little more tempted to take the Jeskai Student since we have Feat, double Abzan Charm, Murderous Cut, Doom Blast. Well, I guess there's a pretty solid argument for Savage Punch here. But perhaps my removal's already good enough. And all these 2/1s are pretty awful with Savage Punch. They're just not that good with it. How good is Student in this deck? I mean, it's not amazing. I'm not going to say that it's amazing because it's not, but it's also not bad. Kintree's just, unfortunately, not that good either. I guess I'll take the Student. 2 drops are typically, the more you get, the better you're feeling. If I take Jungle Hollow here, I'm passing up a Kirin. I do want the Kirin, but if I take the Jungle Hollow, our black just becomes infinitely easier to cast. I don't even have to run or I could probably get away with 1 swamp too. I do want this Kirin though, that's tough. Kirin number 2 would really help a lot, but Jungle Hollow would also help. I do want to easily cast my Abzan Charms when I want them immediately. I also want the Murderous Cut as soon as I want. Dune Blast shouldn't be an issue. That's tough. I'm going to take the Jungle Hollow. I want that Kirin, but it's just not going to happen. All right, well, now I can reward myself with like a Sultai Scavenger and feel less bad about it. Flying is good. Permanent buffing is good. And Delving is probably fine in this deck since we are presumably doing a bunch of early trades. Unfortunately, Skull Hunter's not that great in here. Rush of Battle's probably fine, but we have enough ways to pump already where I don't really need it. So I'll take the Scavenger. Salt Road Patrol number 2, probably not necessary. Let's take the Jungle Hollow, and then we're straight up good on black. We don't even have to play. This is actually beautiful for the mana base. We don't have to run a single swamp now, and we'll have 5 sources of black, which is very, very clean mana base. I guess we actually do need more playables, though, to make a deck, so I might have to pull some cards in. Currently, we're rocking 21 cards. Mastodon, not that good in the splash. I think I'll just hate Abomination. Alright, we could play the Dazzling Ramparts. It's a playable card. Otherwise, I guess Bitter Revelation is fine on the splash if we have 5 sources to get it, as well as 2 Delve cards, especially if we're searching for a Dune Blast. Alright. Dazzling Ramparts is fine, but I'll take the Bitter Revelation. I'm okay with that. Dreadmaw, don't need it. Alright. So with 5 fixers, this would be, we could make an 18 land deck with this. Do I need 18 lands? I probably don't, do I? I probably don't need 18 lands in this deck. There's just really not super mana intensive cards at all. But then again, I might as well play 18 lands because I just don't have enough playables that really matter. I think that's like the main issue. Did end up getting 15 creatures. Let me separate stuff out. This is a 3-drop. I thought I had another morph, but yeah, I guess the only ones I have are Sidisi's Pet. So we're looking pretty beat down, which is good. Rope Challenge, once again, I think is still very good. I could have had a second Kieran, and I wouldn't have had a 5th black fixer, but considering I can run 0 swamps in this deck and get away with that, I'm still pretty happy with that choice. That's a coin toss. I guess Kintree Warden was the other morph I had in here, so I don't know. This kind of looks like a 17 land deck, admittedly, but I guess I'll play 18 because, like I say, I don't really have a card that's worth playing otherwise. So I guess we'll play it like this, and hopefully Bitter Revelation will help alleviate some of the potential flood predicaments this deck may or may not have. But our removal looks fantastic. Double Abzan Charm, Murderous Cut, Dune Blast is pretty insane. We also have a Death Toucher. Yeah, I like this deck. We have good finishers too. Fortress and Colossadon are perfectly reasonable finishers. Versatile buff spells. 2 drops for days. Very good. I think it's a very good deck. So let's try this out. Sort by color. Mostly. I guess we have more black cards than I realized. I guess we could run 1 swamp, but I just don't think it's necessary. 5 sources really does seem enough. Do I? Well, let's see. I might be able to get away with 6 sources, I guess, but let's figure this out. So 2 sources of white already, 3 sources of green. Probably want that as even as possible. So if I were to run 1 black source and 1, 2, 3, what would this be? This would be we've got 3, 6, 8 sources white, 3, 6, 9 sources green, 6 sources black. So 8 sources white, 9 sources green, 6 sources black. It's not bad. It's a very nice mana base, actually. I mean, we do need green and white early, but 8 typically you can get there, no issues. Yeah, I don't have a problem running it like this, I think. So I like our mana base, I like our finishers, I like our spells. Creatures look good, early game plan looks good. This looks like a powerful deck. I think it's very satisfactory. I would rate it pretty high, especially since Dune Blast is an insane card. This is probably like 8 out of 10, something like that. Honestly, it's probably that high on my list. So I like it. Very good looking deck. We'll see how we do. I shall see you round 1.